we didn't even do 1-4. Some of these, like, once you know, like when we get to like 110, 1-3 will seem like a joke to you. It'll seem so easy because you know more. So it's not as bad as it seems. 16 sections because they build on it. Okay. So this is just basically explaining that you can do algebra with limits. So in the notes, he gives this example like x plus x is 2x. Well, the limit as x approaches c of f of x plus f of x, if you wanted to, you could rewrite as 2 times the limit as x approaches c of f of x. To be honest, I'm not sure that really helps you or clarifies anything, but just for the sake of like filling out the notebook. All right, let's say I said limit as x approaches 1 of f of x minus 3 times g of x. Then we'll do the one that he has written out there. It's basically just plugging in. Realize you do have 2 equations here. You got f and you got g. F, they give you -1 and 1. G, they just give you 1. So I'm only asking about 1, but I am asking about f and g, so just make sure you refer to the right one. But all you're doing, it's like you distribute the limit, kind of. So what's the limit as x approaches 1 of f of x? It's just 4, right? That's what it tells us. Minus 3 times, what's the limit as x approaches 1 of g of x? Is 6. 4 minus 18, -14. So it's just like substituting, basically. So try the one that he has up there. The limit as x approaches 1 of f of -x. So this guy here. It's a little tricky because I have -x in there. It's almost like that. I thought you were dropping buttons when I walked by. Yeah, no, she's fine. I'm the weirdo, not her. Okay. So, f of -x, when x is 1, this would really be like the limit as x. But if we want -x and x is 1, we want -1, right? Okay, so then I want the limit as x approaches 1, or sorry, I want -1 because of the negative. I'm not explaining this well. I plug in 1 here, let's say. And then it says f of -1, so I want to know the limit when x is -1. So that part is 2. Does that make sense? Yes, no. So, no, I want you to tell me if it doesn't make sense. So if it was like if it was as x approaches 1 of f of x, then it'd be like, okay, I put the 1 there and it's f of 1, and I look at this. But it's saying take the x that you have, which is 1, and make it negative. So now it's -1. And now you look up -1 in the table up here. That help? That was a way better explanation of whatever the hell I was doing 30 seconds ago. So then the g of x part, like you plug a 1 in there, so now it's g of 1. As x approaches 1, g of x is 6, so that top part is 6. And then you got the divided by 2 piece. So 2 plus 3 is 5. Is there a hand up? I think I saw you you should get negative 30. It should be 6 minus 36. So let me go through y. So again, x is going to go towards 1, so I'm going to put the 1 there. But the negative sign changes it to a negative 1. So I'm going to reference the negative 1 up here, which is 2. 3 times 2 minus g of 1, so I'm finding the limit as g of x goes to 1, which is 6. And then I'm squaring it. That's like 6 minus 36. Raise your hand if you have negative 30. Questions on that? Alright, let's keep going. I like these graph ones. So example 2, they give us a graph. And this is a composite function. So let me back up before I do this. This is like a review of what a composite function looks like. Let's say I had f of x equals 3x. And I ask you for f of 1. I don't know if that's easy for you guys. You can do it or not. I'm going to do it either way. What that says is you plug 1 into f. So if I plug 1 into f, like in place of x, what do I get? I get 3. And then I take that 3, and I plug it in. Like I just keep working my way out. So I take that 3 and plug it into f in place of x. So what do I have now? Okay, that terrified me. I was like, where will this?
No, I was
Okay.
looking at the graph.
Okay. Are we good on this is done? Okay. So we can do that with like limit graphs also. So you look at as x is going to 4, so I want f of 4, or what is the limit as x is approaching 4. So as x is approaching 4, from either side, we're going towards a y value of 1. Now this is 1, and so is this. So what is the limit of f of x as x is going towards 1? So now you look at x is going towards 1, and your limit is going to be negative 1. So you look up the x value, find the y value, then that y value becomes your new x value. Do that. So let's have you guys try the limit as x approaches 3 of f of x. Is that 0? Oh, okay, so yeah, it does look mean, but it's not. I didn't realize. I thought it went through 0. But it doesn't really matter. So as I go toward 3, the y value is, I'm not sure that's negative 1/2. It might be like negative a third, but whatever. The x value is like somewhere over here, and then what's the y value that goes with that? Is negative 1. So this answer would be negative 1 also. Good? Yes, no? Okay. Try number 4, or example number 3. So do that one. So realize that this set of parentheses is where the limit ends. There is no limit sign next to this h of 5. It's the limit of all that crap in parentheses, so you're using the limit stuff for that. But this is just straight up h of 5. There's not a limit sign next to it. approaches 5 of h of x is 5. The limit of f of x at that spot is 6. The limit of g of x at that spot is negative 1. So I really just like plugged in values for those three things. And then this is not a limit. This is h of 5, so that's just 3. And then this comes out to 5 times 4 minus 3, so it is 17. How's that? Okay. Now we're going to do piecewise functions, which does seem to give people a little bit more of a challenge. The way they write it is the way it is. The boxes? Where are the boxes? Oh, you're not talking about the piecewise. Gotcha. Okay. Like then it makes it look like it's confusing. Yeah. Well, you get used to that. Gotta keep it straight. Okay. So a piecewise function, this is basically splitting the number line into two pieces and saying when x is less than negative 5, which is on the left or on the right? On the left. Over here, the function is the square root of 11 minus x. When x is greater than or equal, our function is x plus 3 over 5 minus x squared. And they're asking us for the limit from the left. So remember, the left is over here, right is positive. From the left, from the right, and then over up. So they're basically saying check the left, check the right. If they're the same, that's your answer. If they're not the same, what's your answer? Yeah. So from the left means I want to come from the left-hand side. Well, which equation applies to the left-hand side is the square root of 11 minus x. So this number line helps people. You don't necessarily have to have it. If you just kind of go, okay, from the left, that means numbers like smaller than 5. That less than sign also means numbers smaller than 5. So that's the one I'm going to use. And you're going to plug, I'm sorry, negative 5, sorry. You're going to plug negative 5 because this is the point in question. It's like, do these lines match up like this? Or is it like something like that? And the questionable point is negative 5. So we're going to plug negative 5 into both. Plug negative 5 in here, 11 plus 5 is 16, the square root is 4. So from the left-hand side, you get 4. Do you agree with that? From the right-hand side, so that means where numbers are bigger than 5, bigger than 5 matches up with this bigger than 5, or if you're on the number line, you know it's to the right of 5. And now we're going to plug negative 5 into this. So this comes out to, it's not 4, negative 2 over negative 20, like 1/10. Yeah. Negative 5 squared is positive 25. Negative 5 squared is positive 25. 5 minus 25 is negative 20. What do you mean negative x? That's how it would look. And you do exponents first. So what's negative 5 squared? 25. What's 5 minus 25? Yeah. Negative 20. So we agree? Okay. And then, yeah, since these don't match, this does not exist. If they were both 4, this would be 4. If they were both 1/10, this would be 1/10. Number 5 splits it into 3 parts. So it gets a little trickier. Just gotta wrap your mind around which one to plug in. So we've got something going on at negative 1. We've got something going on at E. E is a value. It's 2.71828, blah, 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 something. We'll have to plug that in and see what we get. So less than negative 1 between -1 and e is that equation. And then when x is greater than e, so way to the right, is that equation. And they're asking us a couple different ones here. So the limit as x approaches -1 of g of x. So -1 means I have to check the two equations, or any equation, two of them, that like butts up against -1. So which equation do I not care about? Top, middle, or bottom? I don't care about the bottom. Because this goes with -1, this goes with -1. This is like way past. So I'm checking like from the left-hand side and from the right-hand side at -1, do they meet? So from the left, I want to use this top equation. So I'm going to check left, right, and see if they match. From the left, so what's -1 squared? 1. 10 minus 1 is 9. Square root of 9 is 3. So I'm just kind of like noting that. If when I plug in from the right, I also get 3, what's the answer? 3. If I get anything else, what's the answer? Does that exist? So go ahead and plug -1 into that, see what you get. It is 3. So you get 26 minus 5, which is 21. 21 divided by 7 is 3. So because it was 3 from both sides, now I can say, okay, yeah, the answer is 3. Part B. I want E from the right-hand side. So I want to use numbers that are bigger than E. Which one of these, top, middle, or bottom, involves numbers that are bigger than E? It's the bottom one, right? So I'm only plugging into that bottom one. This is not asking me, like, check from the right or the left and see if they match. This is just saying, just look at the right-hand side. Tell me what you get. So it'd be like ln of e to the third. And like the e isn't even that scary anymore because now it's just gone. And then the answer is just 3. Because ln's and e's, remember, are opposites. They undo each other. Good? Alright, part C. So g of x in general. Well, I just found g of x from the right is 3. So what do I have to check now? Yeah, so the middle of the thing. Yeah, so I need to check the other side of E. So if I go back to like that number line, we just found that from this side it's 3. I need to know what it is from that side. So which equation is that? Top, middle, bottom? Middle. I mean, you're probably safe, but I would check it. So I'm going to plug E into this. So I'm going to get 26 minus 5 times E squared over 7. I'm not going to do it. All I care about is that 3? So E is like 2.7. Let's call it 3, just as an estimate. What's 3 squared? 9 times 5. 26 minus 45. Now we're at a negative number divided by 7. Like, it's not going to match. Fair enough? It's not -3. It's not 3. So if it's not 3, what's my answer here? Does not exist. So those with the 3, I mean, the piecewise get pretty tricky for some people, and then when it has 3 of them, that's a whole other level. Questions I can answer on any of what I just talked about. So I want you to use this time to work on 1.5. I'll walk around and help, check your answers. So you do not need 1.4 done. Like when I go look at your books before your test, 1.4 does not have to be done.